Just when you thought the Kelly Clarkson and Brandon Blackstock saga was over, a bombshell revelation has reignited the drama. And this time, it's even closer to home. Imagine finding out that your ex-husband, who not only stole millions from you, but put you through one of the most painful divorces in Hollywood, had been secretly dating your personal assistant during the very years he was mismanaging your career. Now imagine that assistant later becoming his business partner and romantic partner, and that the ranch he used to build their new life was the same one you were forced to pay for. This isn't a soap opera. It's the real-life story of Kelly Clarkson. And the betrayal is so layered, so personal, that it leaves even Hollywood veterans speechless. A sudden death and a surprising name. When Brandon Blackstock passed away in early 2025 after a private battle with cancer, most expected a quiet media moment, a respectful goodbye. But then came the shocker. His official obituary stated that he was in a beautiful and loving relationship and named his partner as Brittany Marie Jones. At first glance, that might not mean much, but dig deeper, and the connections become explosive. Brittany was Kelly Clarkson's personal assistant from 2016 to 2020, working closely with her during some of her most critical professional years and personal milestones. And during that same time frame, Brandon Blackstock, Kelly's husband at the time, was illegally acting as her manager, eventually ordered to repay over $2.6 million in commissions he had no right to collect. This wasn't just a case of moving on. It was a years-long betrayal brewing quietly in the background, inside Kelly's own home. The timeline that tells a very different story. Let's break down the timeline because every year adds a new layer of suspicion. 2016, Brittany is hired as Kelly Clarkson's personal assistant. She becomes a trusted member of the inner circle, handling schedules, personal errands, travel, and more. She gains complete access to Kelly's professional and private world. 2017 to 2020, Brandon continues to act as Kelly's manager without proper licensing. He signs deals, takes a cut, and eventually lands himself in legal hot water. 2020, Kelly files for divorce after 7 years of marriage, citing irreconcilable differences. Brittany quietly exits her position as Kelly's assistant that same year. Post-2020, Brandon and Brittany begin publicly dating and later co-found Valley View Rodeo in Montana, on the very ranch Kelly had to pay $12,500 a month for as part of the divorce settlement. This wasn't just a rebound romance. It had roots planted deep during the marriage, while Kelly was battling professional manipulation and emotional fatigue. The overlap is undeniable, and for many fans, unforgivable. A financial and emotional gut punch. The legal side of this story is just as dramatic. A California labor commissioner found that Brandon illegally booked gigs, signed contracts, and collected fees, all without the credentials to manage artists in California. The judgment? Brandon owed $2.6 million to Kelly, his own wife at the time. This wasn't just a clerical error. It was a betrayal built on years of financial deceit. Now layer in the personal betrayal. While Brandon was taking from her career, it seems he was also growing inappropriately close to someone Kelly trusted deeply. Brittany wasn't just a staff member. She was part of Kelly's personal life, and she left right when the marriage crumbled, only to reappear as Brandon's romantic partner. Brittany's father calls Brandon soulmate. Adding fuel to the fire, Brittany's father publicly mourned Brandon's death, calling him his daughter's soulmate. This wasn't a casual fling. It was deep, ongoing, and seemingly planned. From the outside, it looks like Brandon and Brittany were already emotionally invested long before Kelly filed for divorce. Worse, they used Kelly's money, the very ranch she paid for under court order, as the launch pad for their new life together. Imagine working day and night to keep your life together, only to find out that your ex and your former assistant used your own resources to build their dream, while you were just trying to survive. Kelly's silence speaks louder than words. Despite all this, Kelly Clarkson never publicly retaliated. No angry Instagram posts, no interviews throwing shade, no tell-all press tours. When Brandon's cancer diagnosis became public, Kelly put everything on hold. She missed 10 tapings of her NBC show and halted her Las Vegas residency, reportedly to be near him as he neared the end of his life. She stood by him for the sake of their children, not because she forgot what he did, but because she's a mother first. Her focus remained on protecting her kids and preserving their father's dignity, even if he hadn't done the same for her. That's not just classy, it's courageous. Reba McEntire's painful position. Then there's Reba McEntire, country music icon, and Brandon's stepmother for 26 years. She too was placed in an impossible position. Reba had known Kelly long before she became Brandon's wife. They were friends, collaborators, and mutual admirers. But during the divorce, Reba stayed publicly neutral, saying, "I love them both. Brandon's my stepson. Kelly's my good friend. I hope they're happy and healthy and pull through this." And when Brandon passed away, Reba posted a tribute that melted hearts. "Last week, my stepson, Brandon Blackstock, went home to be with God. His struggle is over, and he is in eternal peace in God's presence." She shared private moments, family photos, fishing memories, and quiet ranch life, opting not to focus on scandal, but on the son she had loved for decades. The legacy he left behind. Brandon Blackstock's legacy is complicated. To some, he was a devoted father and loving partner. To others, he was a manipulator who abused the trust of the very people who loved him most. He leaves behind 2 children with Kelly, an ex-wife who showed him grace in his darkest hours, and a romantic partner whose presence has sparked outrage across the internet. But most of all, he leaves behind a story that reminds us that power, love, and betrayal often go hand in hand in Hollywood. So now we ask, was this just a tragic love story with complicated timing? Or was it something far more calculated? Did Brandon Blackstock truly find love with Brittany after his marriage ended? Or was the relationship born in betrayal? And how does Kelly Clarkson, graceful, silent, and strong, fit into this heartbreaking final chapter? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Was Kelly right to stay silent? Did Reba handle it the best way possible? Or is this a scandal that should have never stayed in the shadows? If you want more stories that go deeper than the headlines and uncover the truth behind the fame, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. Because behind every tabloid story, there's a very real, very human truth waiting to be uncovered.